It's probably not a good idea for anyone to do ever in this industry of like, hey, this has never been tasted, but why don't I take the most critical human being in the whiskey industry and just give him a pour and see what happens?
The Fred Minnick Show is brought to you by Michter's and 291 Colorado Whiskey.
And welcome back to another episode of the Fred Minnick Show. This is a unique episode in that I actually have someone in my office, my great friend Jackie Zykan. Jackie, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
And of course, we're also joined by Ango, the puppy.
Well, okay, so, you know, we all work long hours and you have a dog if you're a dog person, you know, and you feel bad. Like, I don't know, I don't have anyone at home to let him out, so I'm just glad you let me bring him. I hope he doesn't, like, knock over anything expensive in here. But
I have a feeling there's a 72% chance the camera might be going down. But if that happens, oh, that'd be great footage. And this is the scene that Ango Zykan took down the Sony 4K.
I love that you gave my dog a last name, too.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
He is part of the family, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Baby.
I mean, we're, my dog Remo, we've had her for 14 years. She's got dementia now. She's blind, and I'm pretty sure she's blind definitely in one eye, possibly in both.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, she's struggling. Her hips are almost out, but she keeps eating. She keeps fighting. I tell you what, I can't put her down. I can't do it.
I know. Oh, my gosh. I don't know how many dogs I've had. I've never had a day of my life that I haven't had a dog. My entire life. Yeah. So, like, I get it. I totally get it. This has been the best dog I've ever owned. Just his temperament. He's just a big old baby. And
he's beautiful.
Thanks. Big old mutt.
Looks like he's well fed too.
He is well fed.
Like a big old walking sausage.
Well, okay. So when I travel, I leave him in Missouri at my parents' house. Luckily, they watch him. They love keeping him. Every time I get him back, he's like 7 pounds heavier because they feed him nonstop. And then it's just this argument. So, yeah. So we've got grandma weight is what's going on right now with Ango. Yes.
I call it COVID weight. I mean, he could be COVID weight, but of course, you know, we've been together. You've been on my YouTube channel before, the Curation Desk, Tasted Your Rye. That was awesome. Been on Bourbon Pursuit together where we were rapping about some cheeseburger action.
That's right.
You know, people have been hitting me up about the cheeseburger thing since that.
It needs to be a thing.
I mean, I love me some cheeseburgers.
It's such a specific thing, too. I mean, everyone is very particular about it. I think we need to have some sort of, like, cheeseburger face-off. We just do.
It needs to happen. So if you're out there, you're listening, and you are a cheeseburger maker, Jackie and I will be the judges.
Yes.
And
gladly.
Ango. And Ango, too. I feel like Ango has a discerning power.
No more table food for that dog. I swear. No, he is on a strict diet now. He can watch, but he is not allowed to partake at all.
Oh,
but
well.
Yeah, if y'all want to do a cheeseburger throwdown, please.
All right, so let's go down the road of like fast food cheeseburgers. What's your go-to?
Oh, okay. See, I'm not like a fast food. I can do a fast casual cheeseburger, but I'm not like a go-to fast food because I think fast food. I think like drive-through, right? I think like that McDonald's, Burger King, all that kind of area. I am a smash burger fan.
Smash burger's nice. Yeah.
I'm also a Five Guys fan.
See, Five Guys is where it's at for me.
Yeah.
I love me some Five Guys. I get a little grossed out by the peanut thing now. You walk in there and like all the peanut shells are everywhere and everything. That's kind of gross.
And it's even weirder now because now they just have these boxes of peanuts, but nobody eats the peanuts because it's COVID. And it's just, I don't know, it's getting really, really weird. I got one up the street from my house and the rule is I can only eat it if I walk there because then I earn it somehow. You know, yeah, right. Like it's barely touching the surface of what those calories are for it, but whatever.
I know you definitely, like you walk into a Five Guys and you can just feel the grease just getting inside your body.
Oh, it's so good. And they always give you way too many napkins. Like they just take the biggest handful. So like when the whole paper towel shortage was going on, didn't you guys know the secret was to go to Five Guys? Because there was like loads. They just shove them in the bag and they always give you an extra scoop of fries. They fill the fries, but then they give a scoop on top of it to be loose in the bag, so all the grease stains through the sides of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely keeping Idaho in business the way they do their fries.
That is accurate for sure. But
So
yeah,
I don't know if you know this about me,
Uh-oh.
but one of my jobs as a writer, I was the editor for Fast Casual magazine once upon a time.
Such a thing is in the world, a fast casual magazine.
Yeah, well,
Really?
I think it's just fastcasual.com now, but back in the day it was print. And I used to cover fast casual, the restaurant side from a trade perspective.
Wow.
I used to cover that. And that was actually my introduction to writing about alcohol, because Panera Bread was testing serving wine, and that's where it all started for me.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
See? Now we have to do it, right?
I know.
We have to.
So there is, locally in Louisville, there's the Cousins, WW Cousins. You like them?
I've never been.
Oh, really?
I've never had it.
So, okay, this is going back to the concepts of this doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, like the peanut thing.
Okay.
Cousins, the burgers are fantastic.
Okay.
But they have these trays, these actual tubs of mustard and ketchup, and you'll go over there and you'll scoop your own mustard and ketchup on it. And it's kind of like, man, now, everyone's all COVID central and thinking about the hygienic part of things.
Right.
But before that, I was just like, somebody is breathing into that. I don't want breathing into my ketchup.
Into the tub of mustard. Well, I think, okay, maybe mustard would be a little bit more stable just being out in a tub, but there are certain things that I don't want in a tub. Like, I don't want mayo in a tub, the scoopable tub. I don't know, even ketchup, I guess it depends. I guess the acidity is high enough in it, but still, there's a lot of sugar in that. I don't know.
That's going to ferment eventually. I mean,
it's going to be a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I bet you could make a fermented ketchup alcohol. What would we call that?
Gross. That's what we would. And I love ketchup. Oh, I love ketchup. And I would not go anywhere near that. Absolutely not. No.
So, all right. Funny. Since we're in this whole condiment thing.
Okay.
Our family, we're really into mustard. We love mustard.
Okay.
And we go to the zoo religiously. And one of our things there is that we will go and we'll get a pretzel and we'll sit down and we'll enjoy it with what used to be one of our favorite pack mustards. It's called Monarch mustard. And it's really, really good. Well, since COVID, they no longer put that out there, and when we've gone into the zoo, we have smuggled mustard into the zoo, and we will break out our little packets and have our pretzel ritual at the zoo. But we are illegally smuggling mustard.
But are you though? Because you're not taking away from a sale. So think of it that way. You never bought mustard from the zoo.
True.
You're bringing in your own. You're still going. You're buying the pretzel, the whole thing.
We're definitely buying the pretzel.
I think it's brilliant. I don't think there's anything wrong with this at all. No one's going to be like, excuse me, sir, you can't bring your own mustard into the zoo.
Sorry, sir, you must leave the gorilla exhibit now. We have found the mustard on your persons.
No one's doing a search for mustard when you walk into the doors of the zoo. As long as you dispose of your packets appropriately and you're not taking away from any sale of food or whatever, I think it's fine, right?
Awesome. Yeah, I agree.
And if they yell at you, just say, Jackie said it was okay. And
Jackie Zykan says it's okay.
Don't know who that is. Don't really care. But apparently she smuggles mustard too.
I think you have a plaque in the zoo. I think so.
I do. Oh, do I?
I think you got a special area.
Don't let her in.
Do you like the zoo?
I do. I love the zoo. I do. I'm from St. Louis where the zoo is free. So
amazing zoo.
We go to the zoo all the time. I love it. I haven't been as many times as I would like to have gone in Louisville, to be honest with you. But it's just another one of those things where it's like, I don't know.
Well, growing up in St. Louis, you're a little spoiled. And that zoo is pretty rocking.
Yes.
We've been there. My family, we go there. We like meet at zoos. Zoos are kind of our thing as families. That's kind of the thing, You like the outdoors. I know you're always taking your kid outdoors and hanging out, and we go to zoos and parks and museums. So one of the things that that makes this show different. This is not a show that's about me sipping all the time. I like to sip with people and talk to them about, whatever, so. And I've been really wanting to get you on the show to talk about your music love, So I wanted to like, what's your favorite genre of music? What are you normally listening to?
See, this is a really hard question. This is the hardest question you could ever ask me. And let me church it up with this. So a couple weeks back, maybe a month or so, I don't even know what day it is anymore. Somebody asked me to go on some podcast and talk about film. And I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about with film. Like these people will wax poetic for days about like the nuances of like the lighting and whatever. I'm just like, I don't get it. I'm just either entertained or I'm not. I'm the exact same way with music. And I got really nervous when you're like, do you want to talk about music? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Because I know what I like when I'm hearing it, but I am in no way, shape, or form that person that like knows the middle name of every member of the band and is like, oh, the good old days when so-and-so was on bass. Like, no, I don't know any of those things. I just know what I like.
You like what you like.
It depends on my mood. Completely.
What genre would you fall on? You rap, you heavy
I know what I
metaling
don't
it out?
like. Let's do that. Do you ever go in the reverse with people?
Oh, sure.
And they're like, here's what I don't like.
What do you not like?
I don't like pop country stuff. Like I like old country in small doses.
So you like my girlfriend's cheating.
No, I don't like any of that
that's
stuff.
kind of like old school. That's actually every genre, every
country
decade
song ever written.
song.
No offense, country music. It's just not my thing. I don't know. Like it always makes me feel sad. And I don't like that. I don't know. For some reason, country music makes me sad. I grew up, my dad had this really, really amazing vinyl collection, and I used to play with all of them, and he would get so mad, and I understand why now, obviously, but when you're like a kid. And there's always certain album covers where you were like, I shouldn't be looking at this. Like, there were a couple of Led Zeppelin albums that, what's the one that has all the naked kids on the front of it?
That was actually taken right outside of Bushmills, that photo.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was on the Giants Causeway.
Wow.
I can't think of the album name at the moment, but yeah, that was there's a little whiskey connection. I've actually taken those steps with the glass of Bushmills and looked at it.
But were you naked? If you're gonna reenact the
not,
album cover, you have to be.
I will not comment on that.
Oh God.
I will say I was there with Elijah Wood, so weird shit happened.
Okay, that's all that needs to be said, I suppose. I don't know. So like he always listened to that. I have a music related tattoo on my arm. Everyone always asks me what that stands. What does your arm say? Because it always cuts off here. Like clap for the what? For whatever makes you happy, I guess. Mm-hmm. Clap for the Wolfman is a song by the Guess Who. It was a band from Canada. If you're not familiar, American Woman. Everybody knows them for American Woman. But the greatest hits of the Guess Who was the first cassette I ever owned, and I know every Guess Who song on that album by heart.
And for those of you too young to know what a cassette is, that it's a little piece of plastic and it had some ribbons in there.
Yes. And if you couldn't get to rewind, or if the ribbons pulled out a little bit and you couldn't get it all straightened out, you had to manually do it and like stick your finger in there and like turn it. And for those of you my age, when we switched over from the sturdy cassette to the CD, but you didn't have a CD player in your car and you had that cassette with the wire on it that plugged into your portable CD player. And every time you hit a bump, it would skip. Those were the days.
I tell you what, when I got one of those and I picked up my date, I was 16, and she was like, "Oh wow, you're really something."
Advanced technology.
I know. I was like,
"Oh,
I'll put that in there. Put on some Stone Temple Pilots. Boom.
Watch out."
I know.
Rolling.
And then we went straight to some fast food restaurant, and then a movie. I mean, seriously, teenage dating is like. Oh God, it's lame. It's like something to eat in a movie or campfire, and
I know. I don't know if I even date when I was a teen. I don't think I dated. I don't think I actually went on dates. I was a quiet kid.
You were studying and trying to be all school-like.
I was like, I'm going to be a master taster when I grow up. Yeah, right. That's not at all what I was doing at all. But no, I don't know, man. The teenage dating. I don't know. What do you do? What do you talk about?
I have no idea. You talk about like, I just kind of going back in my mind what we would talk about. Honestly, it was usually about school. It's
like that's all you know at that point. Not downplaying the universe of the teenager, but like that's the most relevant thing.
And
I
like,
guess.
what are you going to do when you go to school? Where are you going to go? You know, are you going to go to that? I feel like half of like, 15 years old to when you're 25 is spent like finding out what everyone else is doing so you can go do it.
Pretty much.
That's all. I mean, that was.
And in preparation for such, right? But,
Yeah.
Okay, where and what am I going to wear? And what are we...
And is so-and-so going to be there?
So it's right, exactly. Ooh. Back in the day. So yeah, music. Back to music. So that whole like 70s rock era was very much... It just brings me back to the soundtrack of my youth, and I wasn't born in the 70s, but my parents like carried that through, and so that always resonates with me really well. I don't do the whole country thing. I'm not like super big into rap, but like I'll listen to rap. I appreciate anything that fits my vibe at the moment that's in the background of my universe. How about that?
Sure.
Okay.
I think when I've been trying to make the connections to whiskey and music, and I feel like your taste for music is a lot like the basic consumer's taste for whiskey. It's very mood driven. It's very much like I like what I like, and I don't like what I don't like.
Very much so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. And you can take that into a whole bunch of different levels of just sort of. There's some music that is just mass produced and churned out, right? And there's some that takes a little bit more technique, and it goes across all different ranges. But
well, it's also interesting too, like being on like, seeing like careers of musicians, like those musicians will be so talented and work so hard and do everything they can to develop an audience, but they don't resonate with people. It's like music, a lot like whiskey, also does not make sense about what will hit, for every like smoke wagon, there are 30 source brands that have tried to do what he's doing to build a brand, and it just doesn't hit. Yeah. And like it's and there's only like one Brown-Forman, and it's a huge company.
Yeah, it is. But we have a bunch of very different cultured brands within it, I guess. You know what I mean? A little something for everybody, I suppose. But definitely. I don't know. I mean, but then that pulls, I'm sure you've tinkered around with this idea then of doing a tasting with a playlist associated with it to capture that.
Times. Yeah. Many times. So let's taste. You brought in something to taste.
Yeah, I had a bottle. So, okay. Today was a long day, hence why I got my dog with me. And I have this homework assignment where I've got a bunch of single barrels that we sell through the distillery gift shop. And usually with these barrels, I will save them, and then when the time comes to pluck them, I will do so. So when COVID first hit, we were trying to be very respectful of not getting in everybody's way and going out to the warehouses too much, and because I have to. Do you want me to pour you one of these, or you want one of yours, or does it matter?
I'll slide my glass on over here.
So we were trying to not get in everybody's way, and we were all crunched, and I was literally living amongst cases.
Hold on, I thought you said livered. We were livered as well.
Cases of booze, and I fell behind in my tasting notes. I will be the first one to admit that. I was like homeschooling a kid at the time because they all went to NTI, and I fell behind, and so a couple of barrels slipped through the program that I had not yet tasted, and then samples went out, and it was like, oh shit! But then people bought them. And it was like, well, I can't write notes on them now because what's the point? They already bought it. So a couple of these barrels, I was like, well, I'm just going to bottle them and see what happens and hope for the best. So that's what this one is. This one, I called it Ale House Roulette #1 because I was like, well, I guess you're going to get what you're going to get. So I haven't opened this. I just opened it. You saw me open it. You heard me open it. I haven't tasted this one. Ale House is usually pretty good. They're all pretty good, but I have no idea what's going to happen. So literally, it's probably not a good idea for anyone to do ever in this industry of like, hey, this has never been tasted, but why don't I take the most critical human being in the whiskey industry and just give him a pour and see what happens?
Whatever. But in fairness, we also have the friendship where if I don't like it, you're not going to be mad at me for more than 5 minutes.
No.
Or even 5 minutes.
I mean, I am going to be worried. But whatever. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and that's cool.
In other words, You better like it, Fred.
No. It's not like that. I think you know me better than that. That I would rather you just be honest than,
That's
true. Try to
well,
schmooze it.
I will tell you that the banana coming out of this is insane. So like this is like, there's almost so much banana there that I can't get past it.
Yeah. Little brown sugar mayhem going on.
Although I'm just like looking down.
The dog
Ango.
is just laying across the floor now.
Ango's on my foot. And, just kind of chilling. Just what a beautiful dog. A little bit of caramel in there. A little bit of like nuts.
Well,
all right, here I go in for the taste. Series 117 is definitely better.
117 is better?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think that this is great, though. I mean, keep in mind, this is 100 proof. It's got a very long finish to it still. It's flagship Old Faux with that banana, with that caramel on the front, with the brown sugars
I
always
definitely
there.
do know it's Old Faux. Not just because it's in the Old Faux bottle.
It's warm, and these came off the line a couple days ago. And there's a thing that happens when you add reverse osmosis water to whiskey and dilute it down for bottling, excuse me. It's this, I don't know. It's not that it's tight, but it's angry. It's always pissed off, and you need to let it chill out. And this is what happened when we got the 117 off the line, and I tasted it at first, and I go, "Oh my God, I'm screwed."
So if we are to talk about like this being a music, being music, a band, based on your description, I would say this is Metallica acoustic.
Metallica acoustic. I'll take it.
Because they're angry when they're playing normally. And then as you say, it's kind of like resting a little bit. I will say that this is like, I've tasted, so much of your stuff. Like Old Forester 1920 is a go-to, as many know. But this one is not hitting all those high marks for me.
Why? Why is it not hitting the high marks?
Well,
because I taste this and I go, wow, that's actually delicious. It's very balanced. The finish is very long.
What's fascinating to me is like you're talking about the finish. To me, the finish is flat. Like I am not getting much of a finish on this at all.
Wow.
This is why
mine's still there.
Everybody tastes differently.
Yes, they do. And they also taste whiskey differently too.
But generally,
that was a gross joke.
But generally, you and I are simpatico. Like we usually
are.
Very rarely have our palates been off.
I have
each other, but
my palate has been ridiculously hypersensitive lately. I've been taking this like weird combination of supplements, and I've just noticed it being very finicky lately. And I've pulled a lot of fire alarms lately, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "No, it's there. Don't you see that it's there?" And it's but
well, I've been tasting throughout my competition, so we're in the middle of judging the American Spirits Council of Tasters. An ascot. For those listening on the audio, I just pulled out one of the trophies to show Jackie.
Yeah, you did. It's literally like a dude with a glass.
Yeah.
Wearing an ascot. Is this you? Is this you in trophy form?
It is not me, because this guy is obviously skinny.
He's like 7 feet tall.
He's 7 feet tall. And I don't hold a glass like that. But in general, it's like modeled to be like a human in an ascot with a glass.
It is a human in an ascot with a glass.
Yeah.
He's really
But that's
awesome.
The dream is like people be like, be very excited to win one of these. So, but
will people give like, is this going to be like a live thing? Can I?
We have been tasting throughout, and I've been recording them, and when
they win.
But they will announce them. Yeah. But
do people give like acceptance speeches?
That's the goal.
Okay.
One day.
See, that's
the best part. It's very difficult to start a business in the middle of a pandemic. You
don't try.
Anything that's event related, forget about it. So,
I don't know how you think that finishes flat. It's very warm, and it is definitely there. It sinks way back into the throat. It is not a front-loaded finish by any means, palate-wise. It sits way in the back. It's a back seat driver.
I think the taste is there. You know, there's definitely like kind of like this like vanilla wafer there with some, you know, like a banana
pudding.
Banana pudding with the vanilla wafers.
I can see
it's got that whole thing going there for me. The nose is incredibly aromatic. But yeah, the finish is, you know, for my palate today, it's not hitting there. Taste it tomorrow. Who knows? Because every day we taste very differently.
That is true. You know? I'm going to leave it with you because I don't want to have yet another bottle in my house. Not like you need any more bottles either, but just saying. Actually, I'm not, because I have to actually write notes for this later. So never mind. You didn't like it anyways. But still, if people want to buy it, it will be for purchase, available at the distillery gift shop. Eventually, it's the Ale House Roulette #1. It's coming from the 3rd floor of the Ale Warehouse, which is actually the
brand
6th
is
floor.
what? It's just
a single barrel. It's 100 proof single barrel.
Okay.
Ale House Roulette for sure. If you like banana pudding, I got a whiskey for you.
Yeah,
it's a surprise bag.
Legit banana pudding with vanilla wafers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything you want to taste for my world here?
I have tasted so many whiskeys today. I'm good. It's not that I don't want to taste other people's stuff, because I always want to taste other people's stuff. We can do rum. Yeah, that's a good little break from the bourbon.
You want to do a pre-Castro Cuban rum?
What year are we talking here?
Probably 30s.
No, I don't. You know me, I'm weird about my old liquor.
Mm-hmm. That you are.
I don't know, something weird. Let's do a weirdo, funky little rum. How about
She
that?
wants a weirdo, funky, a little rum. All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna find it. All right, so we're gonna go with a barrel rum. This is a Tale of Two Islands, and it's Jamaican pot still. So Jamaican rums, you know, they do a lot of natural yeast. They do open fermentation, and so they have like a lot of like esters in the rums, and then they finish this in an Islay Scotch barrel.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you said you
all
wanted
my worlds are colliding right now.
You said you wanted some funk. We got the funk going up in here.
Jeez. Do we know where this came from though, or no? We just know Jamaica.
Yes. Yeah. So this would have came from Hampton.
Okay.
Which is the basically the Stitzel-Weller of rum distillers.
Oh man, this is weird.
Right?
I needed that today. I've been tasting. Not that I don't love tasting Old Forester, I do, but I've tasted like 95 barrels today, and I needed a break.
Wow.
I spit them all, and then I drove here. Heads up, and I got a dog in the process. So, judge me not.
And texted me saying I can be here an hour earlier.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm the worst.
But I was still able to make dinner. I was able to make dinner, clean the house.
Look at you.
And all that, you know?
Look at you. Just killing it today. It's Wednesday? Today Wednesday?
I thought it was Thursday.
I almost said Monday. Look at us.
Judge us not.
Judge us not. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's the barrel. There's the finishing.
You can tell it, man.
It's not as present on the nose, but on that finish, like, there it is. But that's okay, because I feel like it belongs there.
Incredible.
God. It's like you put a cigarette out in a banana and ate it. That's awesome.
This is like funk meets smoke with a whole bunch in between.
This is incredible. Is this all gone? Like they don't have this anymore?
Oh no, this is a typical release. I tell you, man, Barrel does so much cool shit. You know, they're really good blenders. You know, given your talents, like if I could assemble like an all-star team of like blenders and tasters, I would love to put you with like Trip Stimson and Joe Beatrice and see what you all come up with. You know, because in baseball they have like, in basketball they have like all-star teams.
Is this your fantasy like tasting team?
It would be a fantasy tasting team. Yeah, so I would bring. It would be Joe Beatrice, Trip Stimson, Jackie Zykan. I'm gonna bring in Freddie No from Jim Beam because he likes getting in the thick of it and being different. I'm gonna throw in Brent Elliott from Four Roses.
Okay.
I think that man has a very underrated palate.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
He's got a very underrated palate. And then I'm gonna throw you a curveball here. I'm gonna bring in someone from the music side, Clown from Slipknot, who blended his own whiskey in Iowa.
Okay.
And just because this is kind of a music podcast, I needed to throw.
Oh yeah, we got to bring that back.
I got to bring in a musician somehow.
And you went Slipknot.
So he would be my like blender from the music side. But that would be one hell of a tasting panel.
Like, can I buy this right now?
Well, I can't sell alcohol.
Well, not from you.
Given that
you know what I mean?
I don't have a license, Jackie.
I didn't say, can I buy this from you?
Well,
can I buy this? Is this available on the market?
I don't know if this was an ABC sting or something here, but
it's not.
Yeah, actually, you could go find this in Total Wine. They have Total Wine, Liquor Barn, all those places would have their rum.
Have they done more than one rum, or is this?
Yeah, I think they're on release 5 or 6.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. This is outstanding.
And when we look at like the growth of spirits, we're starting to see a lot of kind of like combinations of different types coming together, even in like blends or finishes.
I know, and I can't say too much because I'll get in trouble, but I guess technically I could say things because nothing's been approved yet. But there are things that I've wanted to do with Old Forester for a while. Mm-hmm. We have access to a lot of really good stuff from the various distilleries that we have in our company. And this just seals the deal for me that I want to chase it even more so. So
great.
But it won't taste like that. Obviously, it's not going to be a rum. But if you start with Old Fo.
Old Fo, you know what? Old Fo actually, I think people were really fascinated when I made a jump from bourbon to rum. I think a lot of people just assumed that my jump would be in like Scotch or Irish whiskey or something like that. But I find more flavor similarities with like genuine rum than I do with other types of whiskey when it comes to bourbon. And like there's definitely you brought out the banana component. Like there's definitely a lot of like crossover notes in my opinion from rum. And I'm excited to see what you can do. But I think rum can stand up to an Islay Barrel better than bourbon can. So if you're going to do something with an Islay Barrel.
Well, yes on a lot of things that you just said there. So there is a lot of similarity. I think the sweetness of the corn is really your common denominator there. Not to say that there's the corn, and obviously it's rum, it's not corn. But I do think that there's a nice sort of solid foundation that Old Forester can provide to then take it and get just a little bit of tweak to it into some more esoteric finishes outside of just your standard things that you finish bourbon in, like your sherry cask or your whatever, you know what I mean? You fill in the blank with whatever has been done before. And I think there's a lot of people out there who have done bourbon done in a smoky way, to your point, the whole Islay thing.
Okay, so Ango is eating something off of my lights here.
Did you find a snack?
I mean, there may have been an occasion where I dropped a piece of beef jerky, so.
Oh, sweet. Well,
yeah, score.
It's gone now. I don't know. I just think that there's people that have done it in ways where they did it just to be different and they didn't to actually achieve a balance out of it. And there's a big difference between the two things, right? So I don't know. We'll see. We shall see what the future holds for all of us, right? You never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen. I mean, the world is forever turning.
It is indeed.
And like, I don't know where I'm going to be a year from now. I don't know what I'll be doing a year from now.
Maybe we'll be drinking together again. Maybe the dog will be with us and we'll be drinking again.
I could bring my dog and see how they,
Dog party.
Can you kick my dog's ass? He needs an ass.
No,
whooping.
he's very, very sweet. He's a big baby. He just doesn't like the mailman, woman, male person.
You know what? That's
whoever
right.
delivers does
Mailmen
not like
bring bills.
the delivery.
Those bills keep you from getting more snacks. Who's a good boy? What a good dog.
I had no idea you were such a dog person. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, Fred's gonna be like, oh,
I
shit,
love
there's gonna be
dogs.
hair in my office.
I don't care about that.
Well, if you love dogs, he loves you. Have at it.
Yeah,
I love him as well, but I get him all the time. So
he is definitely a loving pup.
yes,
He's,
he is
8 years old.
No, he's like 6.5.
Okay.
He's just lazy. I don't know. He's just a big lazy mutt. It's great.
Well,
Yeah.
I really have enjoyed this, as I always do when we hang out, and I appreciate you coming and chilling with me for a bit, and given that we do try to bring everything back to music in some ways on this show, any thoughts on what this barrel rum Tale of Two Islands is music wise?
Oh God. No, see, this is the thing is I'm like not good at this. I'm not good at this at all because I don't immediately associate it with intensity and different notes and complexities in music whatsoever.
See,
I'm
I
just
think,
like, when was the last time I drank rum? What was playing in the background? Like I'm that person.
I think you're cutting yourself short. I've seen your artistic handwritten notes of when you were tasting something. You've sent those to me. I think they're beautiful, and I think that you are very much an artist, and you express yourself artistically through whiskey and through words, and definitely vocally as well. And I will say that the music is just an artistic expression that doesn't always grab you like something else does.
Okay, let me frame it up. Like I need you to like co-pilot me through
All
this.
right,
Okay,
we're here.
So it's very it's very unexpected. I think it could be very, very misunderstood. It's very surprisingly delicious. So where do we go with that in music?
Well, I think so
and it's not subtle by any means. No.
I think when you have like these big megastars, there is an assumption that they're just all hype and everything, and that's sometimes true. And like you get them singing there was a time that Taylor Swift sang next to Stevie Nicks, and you would see Stevie Nicks was definitely a natural musician, where Taylor Swift was more enhanced in some ways. But there are a lot of great musicians that are in that kind of mega level that do not get the credit for their talent just because they have crossed over. Christina Aguilera.
Stop. She was my idol growing up. I wanted to be Christina Aguilera so hardcore freshman year of high school. Like I was all about Christina, like regular Genie in a Bottle, old school Christina before she got greasy and stuff.
That's what I'm saying is Christina Aguilera.
I love you, Christina.
Christina Aguilera to me, is one of the most talented artists of our lifetime, but she gets put over into this other sphere because she became so famous.
Yes, totally. I totally see what you're saying. 100%. And she does have a lot of talent to her. I don't know. This is a little bit more audacious than Christina Aguilera, though. This is an incredibly audacious spirit. That's the best way I can
Lady
phrase
Gaga
it.
be audacious to you? Because you said because you were talking about something that's like, what you said really appealed to me is like someone who transcends their genre, but gets misrepresented because of fame. That's kind of how I took your comment.
Oh, okay. So let's not go down that path. I need something that's literally just very, I don't know. My personal experiences with some of these things have been very, very, very weird. And I will never forget. And thank you very much for the opportunity to work with you at Bourbon and Beyond. What was that? 2 years ago, I guess. It has been since then.
Yeah.
And there was a Flaming Lips set where they came out in a bubble, and just this big inflatable ball across the crowd. And it was this really amazing moment. And I think it was an amazing moment for a lot of people that weren't expecting it. They were just like, it's hot as shit outside. What am I going to do? Oh, wait. Hada. Everything's okay. it's okay. Everything's okay. It looks weird. It kind of sounds like it's going to be weird, but then you taste it and you're like, shit, okay. It's very unexpected, but it's fucking gorgeous. I'm not supposed to say the F word. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you can say fuck or whatever.
Okay.
Unless corporate, you're not allowed to.
Well, not like while I'm on our corporate campus, like typing away.
Well, you're not
cubicle.
a brown foreman right now, so fuck
No,
this, fuck
I'm
that, fuck this, fuck you.
Stop!
So I can say, we can say fuck all day long.
Okay.
Although I will get a bad rating. Here I had my kids in the car, and I like his whiskey comments, but then he went and said fuck. And
well, now you're really going to get a bad rating because you're making fun of the person that would leave you a bad rating.
Well,
but,
if they do, I mean, if they're giving me a bad rating for saying fuck.
Are you known as having a wholesome podcast?
When I get booked for private events, which is often, I am now getting it in my rider that I have to be, I can't use any cuss words.
Oh, okay.
And so the word is on the street. But I'm like, well, you guys keep rebooking me, so obviously, my cuss word using's good. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm a soldier too. You can't take that out of me. Anyway, but you were Flaming Lips, Vaseline is their number one hit of their time. And this is definitely a very oily flavor profile. So a little bit of something there between although I've never tasted Vaseline, but I assume it's a petroleum.
Tastes industrial. Yeah. Industrial. Let's call it that.
Let's not get into the tastings of Vaseline.
Petroleum jelly. Yeah.
But it's petroleum jelly. So.
But nonetheless, delicious.
Yeah. Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers.
And it's so great hanging out with you. Always a pleasure. And it's great to see you. And Ango, man, I love you already.
Aw.
Yeah. What a good pooch. Good pooch.
He loves you too. See? And now your floor is covered in hair. I'm sorry. I'll have to come sweep your floor.
By the way, as we close out, you were the last story I wrote when I was with Bourbon Plus. So,
Aww.
yeah, my cover story on you was the last one I wrote.
You went out on a high note. It was a great story. It was very well written.
Absolutely. And I do miss the magazine days, but on to other things in life.
Yes.
All right, but that's going to do it here for this episode. Tell everybody where they can find you on the socials.
Well, if you're really interested in my non-music knowledge, then you can find me on Instagram at Jackie Zykan, JackieZykan, all smushed together. Or, if you're curious about Old Forester, follow Old Forester. And the Old Forester website is a fantastic place to see all the stuff about all the products and cocktail recipes and release info and all that fun stuff. So, but yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, Jackie, thanks for joining us.
Thank
Be safe
you for
out there.
having me. For sure.
Such a pleasure.
Always.